forward. And there we go. Okay. Hi, Lynthia. So today we've got Lynthia Edwards, and she is an artist out of the Birmingham, Alabama area. And Lynthia, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
So we're going to start with our standard question, which is, could you share with our audience what your background in art is?
Okay. Well, I'm an art teacher, first off. I have a degree from the Art Institute of Atlanta in graphic design. I have a bachelor's in art education from Auburn University of Montgomery and my master's in art education from UAB.
Fabulous. And how long have you been teaching?
Oh, goodness. 17 years.
That's
awesome. 17 years. Yeah.
You being an educator. So I just wanted to drop that. That's not one of our technical questions, but as an artist and art educator, I just want to always give a shout out to our full-time art educators.
Yes, thank you.
So we've got some samples of a sample of your work behind you, and we're going to share some samples in the post of this video. And I would love to hear what you're hoping the impact of your work will be.
Wow. Well, a couple of things. I paint from a perspective of what I know best, and that is being Southern as well as being a Black girl, being raised Southern. So for me, I want my work to represent who I am and the attention that is that Black girls raised in the South need. I mean, we need to be put out there and acknowledged. So I want my work to say, hey, check out this Black girl raised in the South. Look what they got going on. Did you know this is what they do down there? I want people to start to recognize the culture and just kind of get an idea of what it is we do here and what we look like.
I love that. And your imagery, as people will be able to see, is this type of, as I compared it to Mary Cassatt, this kind of, or Norman Rockwell even, this kind of everyday of the Black girl. And it's got beautiful, colorful, positive imagery. Obviously, I'm a fan. People watching. I just love it. So, and I love your statement about what it is. I think it's definitely hitting that. Has the pandemic affected your practice at all?
My practice? Oh, yeah, because I have more time to practice. Awesome. I'm loving it. I have embraced it, and I have put out pretty much large scale works like every 2 days. So it has impacted it, and it's just given me more time to create and research and think and put together practice and all these other things. Yeah, definitely.
That's fantastic. I think that as much as we are hurting for the people negatively impacted by the virus, some of us who are creative have had some extra space, and that is a space in our calendar time to be able to do things that we might otherwise not, because we're usually juggling jobs and things like that, which takes me to our next question about how you've developed your career and balanced it with your day job.
Oh, wow. Okay, so since I am an art teacher, I do have the opportunity to work at work. So because it gives my students the opportunity to see a live artist creating right in front of them, which influences them so much. My students are actually adjudicated. They are in a lockup facility. They don't go home on the weekends. They don't go home for months or for years. So for them to actually see a live working artist is, something they don't get often, or may not ever even get in some cases. So I'm fortunate to be able to work while I'm working. Also, when I come home, though, it's a totally different world. I have a lot of kids. I have kids from the age of 25 to the age of 1. And so when I get home, it's different. I'm picking up kids from daycare, and then I'm getting here. I'm gotta feed them in the car, get home, get everybody shower, bathe, homework, do this, do that. And then you look up and it's 11, 12 o'clock. Well, I try to start at about 11 or no later than 11 o'clock. And I work literally until about 3 or 4 in the morning. I may get 2 hours of sleep and I'm back at it. I get up, go to work, try it again. And for the most time, it works. It can be exhausting, but I'm hungry. I mean, I'm loving creating. And once you get that creative high and you're really moving, you don't even think about sleeping. So, yeah, that's how I manage it.
That is an incredible work ethic, and I think that people out there can so appreciate that passion that you are exhibiting in your work. And I just want to say to anybody watching, I had 2 educators who did exactly what you're talking about. They painted in the classroom with me present, and that had a bigger impact than any one project that we did. The culmination of the information they shared with me was also deeply important, but seeing them practice as showing functional artists in the art community was inspiration that they could never have put into a quote or a lesson. And I took that myself into the classroom because students are just curious, and they'll come up to what you're working on and look and ask questions and do that investigative level of learning. So bravo to you.
Thank you.
For doing that. Do you have some big influences that you could share with us, whether they're modern, current people, or if they're historic influences?
Oh my goodness, let me get started. I'm just rattle them off. Okay, Beverly Buchanan, Jacob Lawrence, William H. Johnson, Kara Walker, Betty Czar, Allison Czar. Oh goodness, pop art, Andy Warhol, Basquiat, Keith Haring. The list just goes on and on. Pop art, British pop art. I mean, it's just it's forever. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have and we'll be sure to list everything that Lynthia just mentioned in our credits, which is fabulous. Hopefully you guys are going home and doing some research on artists, because that's gonna build your knowledge base tremendously. And Lynthia, do you have one artist that you might pull out of all those that you feel like you sort of go home to, or maybe a favorite artist that you want to share with people?
I'll tell you what, one of my favorites right now, because my work is starting to shift, some things that I've got in mind and some projects that I'm working on. One of my favorites would be Walker Evans and William Ferris and William Christenberry. William Christenberry all day long. So yeah. So because I'm going on these ventures and trying to, track down where I'm from, where my parents are from, and just grabbing all those things and just trying to organize them in my brain to create these new works.
I love that. I saw a post by you recently, and it's so funny you say that, because, and we'll share these images with Lynthia's permission later in the video, but I saw some images of where she grew up from, and Walker Evans came to mind. Walker Evans was a photographer of Southern spaces and places. Yeah. And the images you had that reminded me of my uncle's old station where he was a mechanic. But it was a station. It was a place that looked like it might have sold gas, maybe, definitely, probably sold some like snacks. Those the good old cracker sandwiches.
Yeah, that's a little bit of everything.
Exactly, the pig's feet, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, I think that's really it's so fun when your influences are a little bit evident. I think kids today, especially younger artists or even student artists in K-12, might think they have to reinvent the wheel, make something totally brand new, but we really feed off of history, and it's great to be able to look at other artists and where they've been and not reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Lynthia, how do you seek out opportunities for yourself to show or sell your work?
Fortunately for me, I actually hit the ground running about 2 years ago, and I happened to have a mentor that really, well, it may have been 3 years ago, that really got in behind me and pushed me. She talked to someone, and that person contacted me, and it convinced me to put my stuff on Instagram and on Facebook, which was something that I didn't do. I just didn't. And it just happened to be the time. And it's just taken off. People have come to me and said, "Hey, there's this opportunity," or it's been that they offer it to me, and I take everything coming. And I also, make sure that I'm there, so I'm relevant. I like to keep my name in people's mouths for good reasons, and it just kind of flows. It's just I guess I could say it's kind of a little contagious right now. So I'm enjoying the moment, and I'm just running in behind it as much as possible.
That is awesome. I think that so many artists hope for that type of momentum, and I'm so happy that you've been able to find it. And on that note, have you been able to cultivate a collector base, or are you building people who are building collections of your work, or do you sell your work to individuals mainly? How do you cultivate that collector base?
It's a little bit of both. Because I am out here, and my name just kind of goes from one person to the next, or from one friend to the next friend. It's kind of been like I have established these collectors. A lot of them are Southern because my work is Southern. The first gallery that I was in Mississippi, and it's so amazing to me and to my family that Mississippi just craves these Black girl paintings. They do. Mm-hmm. And it's a blessing, and I feed them to them as much as possible. But yeah, and so it started just like that, and it's kind of been like by word of mouth. Honestly, one collector may have 5 paintings of mine, and then it goes to political figures who have gotten works, and then the people that are around them have purchased works, and so it's just started to just kind of go from there. I'm in 3 galleries, and it just kind of, and they're Southern, and it's just growing, and I just try to keep as much work out there as possible, just so everybody can get a piece.
That is fantastic. And that's actually something that leads right into our next question about navigating the art world. And you mentioned politicians and people maybe who possibly are from the South but are no longer in the South collecting your work. And I'm curious how you might navigate the river region, the Southeast, Birmingham, and then the world at large. How do you handle all those diverse areas that you're showing in and connecting with people? Because as you stated, your work's really Southern. And so I love that you're selling to some people who are no longer residing in the South. And I hope that your work's not limited to a Southern audience. How do you navigate getting that work beyond the borders of the South?
Well, what I've found is that, because I've been told that I have work that's in Italy, and I'm like, oh wow. But what I found is the galleries that I'm in, they're prestigious galleries, or they're well-known galleries, and people come to those areas, specifically like the gallery in Mississippi. People come through Vicksburg. She's this nice little, like neat gallery, and people, it's just like the spot to go to when you're there, and it attracts a lot of people. And so there are people, you got internationals coming in and out and things like that, and they're buying the work and they're taking it back with them. And so galleries is basically how it's happening for me, as well as Instagram. It's like people see it, Instagram goes everywhere, and people see it and they're contacting me saying, oh, I love it, I gotta have it. Oh, my friend, she wants one too. Oh yeah, we'll get it to her. So it just kind of grows like that. I haven't done any footwork or like putting it in my car and driving it up there myself. It's just really been through galleries and Instagram. Yeah.
On a note to share with our viewers, some artists go through gallery representation and other artists go through showing in a variety of galleries and sort of managing their own work base. Have you been doing any gallery representation?
Well, and actually that is it. That's pretty strictly what it is. And it's Southern Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, and it moves. You'd be surprised how much the South moves artwork, for real.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, and the South has a real unique viewpoint that has, as we know from the South, has its own elegant beauty, even in its everyday, mundane essence. So I think that it's really exciting for people to hear that you can do a combination of that personal image management and have gallery representation. Did you seek out the gallery representation, or did they come to you?
They actually came to me. Yay! I didn't even have to do any legwork. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. They came to me, and that's a blessing. That's a blessing. That's something I would never take advantage of. That is a blessing, because I have so many people who want to know how to get into them. And I'm just like, I don't really know, but I'll find out for you. And I'm just blessed. And like I said, I guess it was my time, because I put in the work, but I guess it was just my time. And so my blessings have come to me. Yeah.
Well, and for everybody watching, I just want you to know, I've seen Lynthia, when she says that she doesn't put in the footwork, that's a little bit of a misnomer, just in that I have seen Lynthia at so many shows and events, whether she is in them or not, which is good work, because what she's doing is some significant networking within the art community and even outside of the art community. Yeah. And her personality just shines. So Lynthia, I just want to thank you so much for sitting and talking to us today and letting people to get an idea of your work and you as a person. It's nice to be able to hear somebody talk and answer a few questions. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.